Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to thank the organization and scientific committee for honoring me with this opportunity. I am Medina Rehana from NCINH, and today I am presenting to you anti-cancer activities of two selected varieties Algerian date palm seeds in hormone-dependent MCF7 and triple-negative NCINH 231 cancer cell lines. According to OMS 2022, breast cancer was the leading cause of cancer in both sexes. In Algeria, according to INSP, it was the leading cause of cancer in 2017, but surprisingly, in Gherdaya, when people traditionally consume date palm products, it was breast cancer was absent in the top 5 cancers. In the 17th century, Mohammed ibn Hamadouche Abdelrazak al-Jazairi, he is scientist and researcher, mentioned in his book Révélation des énigmes dans l'exposition des drogues et des plantes that date paste was used to cure genital parts cancers. This leads us to question the possible therapeutic effect of date paste on other cancers. This study aims to optimize the date paste extraction protocol for use in cancer cell culture studies and determine the effect of Tim Johart and Diglitnor date paste extracts on the proliferation of cancer cells in order to evaluate their potential as dietary supplements or therapeutic and preventive agents for breast cancer. We've chosen two date varieties, Tim Johart from Gherdaya and Diglitnor. Firstly, separation of the pod from the pit, then wash of the pit with distilled water, add drying on Wattman filter papers for 48 hours, finally grinding to obtain powder. So we have used 3 solvent system for extraction. 20 grams of powder in 600 milliliter of first codeine 1 methanol plus chloroform, secondly codeine 2 ethyl plus acetone, and 3 for water plus acetone. T was for Tim Johart and D was for Diglitnor. So we mix the powder and solvents, 24 hours of agitation, Buckner filtration, and then we pass to sunrification for 10 minutes. Finally, rotative evaporation to obtain our extracts that were stored in air-sealed conical tubes at room temperature for later use. We've prepared stock 1 with the MSO, stock 2 with PBS. The solutions for cell treatment were prepared for each variety extract by diluting them as critically with the complete media until 8 final concentrations from 0.25 to 5 mg per milliliter. We've chosen 2 cell lines, MCF7, which is HR positive and were maintained in RP&I media, MDANB 231, which is triple negative, very aggressive, and were maintained in DNEM media. So after cell maintenance, we've done cell seeding on 96 well plates. We've treated the cells with our extract with different concentrations and incubation for 72 hours. After that, we've changed culture media and add NTT for the entity assay, incubation for 3-5 hours, and then remove media and add the MSO. Then we've done another incubation and we've read the absorbance at 517 nanometers. So the results was analyzed by Excel for the percentage of inhibition. Another common way was used to assess whether different concentrations of the extract had a statistically significant effect on cell viability, on SDNDR logiciel R. And finally, for those who have significant difference, was calculated with AAT BioQuest IC15 calculator. Paste extraction with methanol plus chloroform will give us for both varieties paste and oil. Ethyl acetate gave oil and water plus acetone gave powder. The extracts contained around 10% oil and the rest was paste. Secondly, ethyl acetate gave the highest oil yield for both Tim Johart and the Diglitnor varieties. And thirdly, the water acetone mixture produced phenolic-rich powders with Tim Johart paste yielding more extract than the Diglitnor. Those findings are supported by Gidaini et al., who confirmed that the efficiency of methanol and water acetone 15% in extracting phenolic compounds. Similarly, Zuhair et al. Validated the use of methanol chloroform for oil recovery. And Luhaini et al. Demonstrated that ethyl acetate performs comparably to examine in terms of yield and quality. So, this graph, we can see in this graph the response of MCS7 on erlotinib. MCS7 is EGFR plus. Erlotinib target EGFR. So the results of our experiments confirm that the cells MCS7 used are not chemoresistant and can be used to study the effect of our drugs. We observed the effect of T1 extract on MCS7 breast cancer cells. Cell viability first decreases and surprisingly increased before dropping again at higher doses. This biphasic response suggested that T1 may stimulate or inhibit cells depending on the dose. The second graph shows T2 extract effect. Cell viability increases and to 1.5 when it peaks, then declines, like T1. So T2 is also shows a biphasic pattern, suggesting dose-dependent dual effects. T3 demonstrated significant cytotoxic effects on NDA and B231 cells, particularly evident at lower concentrations, where PI was percentage of inhibition was 14%, at 0.75 milligram per milliliter in this cell lines, while the proliferation has augmented in the highest concentrations. Here, D2 extract seems to strongly stimulate MCF7 cells at low doses. It stabilized around 115%, then dropped sharply at 2 and 5 milligram per milliliter. This shows a stimulating effect at low doses and cytotoxic effect at high doses. Finally, this graph shows D2's effect on NDA and B231 cells. Unlike with MCF7, here we see a clear dose-dependent decrease in viability, with the lowest levels at 2 and 5 milligram per milliliter. This suggests D2 is more cytotoxic to triple-negative breast cancer cells. We found that the extracts of two varieties of date-palm, diglitino and tinjohart, exhibit dose-dependent antiproliferative effects on the cells NDA and B231 and MCS7. According to Sheikh et al., date-pit extracts significantly reduce cell viability in human colon cancer cells while having a middler effect on hepatocellular carcinoma cells. Additionally, Khatak et al. Found that several date varieties, including Najwa, Khalas, and Mabroum, exhibited cytotoxicity against NDA and B231 breast cancer cells. More recently, Mohammed et al. Demonstrated that ethanolic date seed extract significantly reduced cell viability in MCS7 and PC3 cancer lines. Notably, normal HDAN cells were not affected, suggesting selectivity. These results, along with existing research, suggest that date palm pits extract may have promising antiproliferative properties against various cancerous cell lines, justifying further investigation of underlying mechanisms and potential therapeutic applications. In conclusion, this study investigates the extraction and biological properties of pit extracts from diglitino and tinjohart dates. Methanol chloroform yielded about 10% oil-rich in phenolic antioxidant. Ethyl acetate proved efficient for extracting high-quality oils, while the water acetone mixture produced phenolic-rich powders, with tinjohart giving a higher extract yield than the diglitino. Biologically, the extracts from both diglitino and tinjohart varieties exhibited dose-dependent antiproliferative effects on the cancer cell line NDA and B231 and MCS7. These effects may be attributed to their high content of phenolics and flavonoids. However, the intensity of the response differed between the two varieties, suggesting that their bioactive composition plays a role in the variation of their anti-cancer potential. In addition, it will be interesting to continue this work with profile of bioactive compounds by GSMF analysis, antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity, nuclear staining analysis, cell cycle analysis, and phosphorylated protein network analysis. Before I end this, I just want to thank I really want to thank Dr. Aluna Tahtamouni and Dr. Salim Malou, Dr. Lu'ay Moumani, all of the group who worked with me and collaborated with me from Al-Hashemite University of Jordan. It was very gentle, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I have